Oh, it is. Okay. Hi, Maureen. How are you doing today?
Not too good.
Not too good? Well,
No.
you want to talk about what's going on?
Yeah, sort of. Um, the kids are still being mean at school,
Mm-hmm.
and I still feel like an outcast. I just don't know what to do. I try to be nice, but they just don't listen to me.
Yeah, that can be hard. Um, so what do you do? Like, when you try to be nice, what are you doing when you're trying to be nice? What kind of things do you do?
I might try to help them with their homework,
Mm-hmm.
like classwork. I try to basically, like, yeah, basically, yeah.
Try to help them with their classwork and you work together at school?
In gym class, I try to teach kids how to do backflips because I'm good at gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what do they say when you try to go and help them?
They say that they give me funny looks and say, "Oh, you smell funny."
Yeah, that could be pretty hurtful.
Yeah.
How else does it make you feel?
I feel like I just feel nasty.
You feel nasty. Now, have you ever noticed, like, when they tell you that you smell, what do you think makes you smell to them?
I really don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, so this week we have about 30 minutes to talk together, and you know how last week we talked about your family and all the different things that you were feeling and some of the issues that you felt. This week we're going to talk about how, like, our plan going forward. So we're going to try to make a plan together of how we're going to start working on fixing some of these problems. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay, so I think what it sounds like one of the main things that you want to fix is maybe how you feel lonely at school compared to other kids, and that they're always telling you that you smell and that you don't smell good or they don't want to be around you for that reason. So if we said our goal was to make your friends at school, or to make friends at school so that you don't feel lonely, does that seem like a good goal that we could work on this week?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you think we could do to start making more friends?
First, try to make me smell better.
To make you smell better, okay. Now, when you go home, does your family smell the same way you smell? Does it just seem like normal? You don't see the difference?
No.
When you go home, what kind of things do you do? So when you go home, before you go to bed, what do you do before you go to bed?
I just go to bed.
You just go to bed. And what about when you wake up in the morning?
I just put my hair up and eat.
And you eat, okay.
Just go to school.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you take your shower in the morning, or do you take your shower at night?
My mom's not really around very much.
Mm-hmm.
She's working a lot, so.
Okay. So what if we said we wanted to make our first stop on our list for our goal is we make a list of things that we can do to make sure that we're taking care of our body. Because you know how you're really neat and you're really good at taking care of your schoolwork?
Yep.
Well, we have to take care of our body that same way.
Okay.
So what if we try to I helped, and you can help me think of things. So what kind of things do you think you should do before you go to sleep at night?
Brush my teeth.
Brush your teeth, okay. What else?
Take a shower.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me write these things down. Okay, is there anything else you can think of?
What options do you have?
So usually I'll tell you how about what I do before I go to bed.
Okay.
So I go home and I put all my clothes in the dirty laundry, and then I get in the shower. I take a shower, make sure I wash my body, I wash my hair, and then when I get out of the shower, I put deodorant on, and then I brush my hair all out, and sometimes I'll put it in a braid or something so that it's good for the next day. And then I brush my teeth, and I don't eat anything after I brush my teeth. So I brush my teeth, and then I go right to bed. So that's what I do. So I go through step by step and do all those things. So I use shampoo, I use conditioner, body wash, I use deodorant, toothpaste, and that takes care of that. And then when I get up in the morning, I don't have to take a shower again, but then I do again. I brush my teeth, and I put on deodorant, and I brush my hair, and then I get dressed and put on clean clothes, and then I come here to work. So do you think you would want to, could we try out a similar routine for you?
Sounds like a lot, but okay.
It sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Now, do you have all these things at home to be able to?
No.
You don't have? Okay, so what things do you have at home? We'll go through. What are the things that we said we needed? Can you remember them?
We said deodorant,
Mm-hmm.
shampoo, conditioner, and you said toothbrush.
Conditioner. I'm just writing down the important things. Toothbrush. Anything else that you can think of?
Toothbrush. What else did you say? Deodorant.
Like a bar of soap or a body wash?
We have bar soap.
Okay, good. That's good. Bar of soap. We'll put a check next to that one. Toothpaste.
Okay.
Okay. So how many of things do you have at home out of this list? You want to look at the list. So how about you mark off all the ones that you have at home? Those ones? Alright, cool. So it looks like on our list, on our plan, in order to work on the hygiene part of our plan, we're going to have to get you some of these things, right? So what if we got a basket, we went to the nurse, the nurse's office will give out a basket of these things to kids who need them. So what if I went down to the nurse with you and we could get one of those baskets and you bring it home? And with it, you're going to bring home this checklist.
Okay.
And so every time I'm going to give you before you leave today, I'm going to give you a sheet of gold stars. So every time you do this, every time you take a shower, you put a gold star next to it. Every time you put on deodorant, you put a gold star. So next week when you come see me, there should be 7 gold stars, one for each day.
Okay.
You think you could do that?
Yep.
Okay, so let's take this.
Thank you.
So that's our first step that we're going to do. And so then maybe that could help with the feeling a little bit distant because of smelling bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's another thing that you think that we can work on so that you don't feel so lonely so you can make some friends at school?
I really don't know. I think the biggest thing is that kids just really make fun of me because I don't really sit with the popular kids. I sit with 2 other girls that aren't as popular too, so I feel like I don't know how to make new friends.
Now, so what do you mean by popular kids?
You know, the kids, that have all the friends, have all the new gadgets,
Mhm.
and have the nicest clothes and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So how about you tell me about your friends that you have now? What are they like? Why do you think you want to be friends with the popular kids instead of being friends with the girls that you sit with at lunch now?
I want to be friends. Well, repeat the question.
So you said you have 2 friends now, right, that you get to sit with. Why do you want to be friends with the popular kids instead of the friends that you have now?
Because the popular kids have stuff that I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
They have nicer clothes,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently they smell good,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't smell good. And yeah.
So do you want to be friends with them because you kind of want to have the things that they have? Or do you want to be friends with them because they have nice personalities, or that because you have things in common with them?
I think it's because they have stuff that I don't have.
Yeah. Do you think being friends with them would get you the stuff that they have?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. So what outside of wanting to be friends with them, when you think of a friend, what would you say a friend is?
A friend is someone who is nice.
Mm-hmm.
A friend is someone who is never mean. A friend is someone who never picks on you. A friend is someone who that won't judge you for stuff. And a friend is someone that you can bring over your house without feeling like your house is too small or too,
You can bring them to your house. Are there any other things that you can think of when you think about a friend?
We can play together.
You can play together. So, now let's put those things that you said about a friend, and let's compare them to the popular kids at school. So, are they nice?
No.
Do they pick on you?
Yes.
Do they judge you?
Yes.
Do you feel like you could bring them to your house?
No.
And can you play with them?
No.
So do you think maybe, I know there's sometimes that main group of kids in our school, but what if we looked at maybe making friends that weren't necessarily the popular kids, but just some of the other kids in your class? Because from what it looks like, do those seem like the type of people you want to be friends with?
No.
No. So what if we tried looking at some of the other kids that maybe you feel like you could play with and kids that wouldn't judge you? Is there anyone in your class that you think that you could play with that maybe like some of the same things that you like?
Yeah.
So last week you talked about liking gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
What were the other things you said? You like to read. You like to read books. So can you think of any kids in your class that might like to read books and play gymnastics?
Yes.
All right, so what are their names?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Karen. Bob.
So what if we made a goal that you tried to talk to Sarah and Karen or Bob this week? Instead of focusing so much on the popular kids, maybe open up and think about some of the other kids you might be able to be friends with. Would you think you would like that?
Yes.
Okay, so what's something that you could do? How could you connect with Sarah?
She's always in the library.
Okay, and you're in the library a lot too?
Yeah.
So what's something you think you might be able to do to reach out to her?
I can maybe try and sit with her and be like, what book are you reading?
Okay, so you can sit with her and talk about books. And Karen, what's one way you think you could connect with Karen?
Karen, she's usually by herself during gym time. So maybe I can go talk to her.
So during gym. Maybe she would be open to learning about some of the gymnastics?
Yep.
Okay, so gymnastics. You think that's something Karen would like?
Yes.
Okay, and what about Bob? What's one way you think you could talk to Bob this week?
Bob is usually by himself in class.
During class. Now, do you have free time during class that you can talk to Bob, or are you usually just learning?
Yeah, we have like quiet time, or like you can go to the book area.
Okay.
Sit on bean bags.
So, quiet time. So do you think you could try to maybe make that effort to talk to Sarah, Karen, and Bob? So you're going to talk to Sarah at the library, you're going to talk to Karen during gym, and you're going to talk to Bob during quiet time at class. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay, so that's another goal. Can you think of we're going to work on your hygiene, and we're going to go to the nurse. That's what we're going to do in the second part of our meeting. We're going to go to the nurse, and we're going to try to get you one of the baskets of all the different things that you can bring home. And maybe you could show that to your mom, and maybe she can help you.
I don't know if she want to help me.
You don't think she'll want to help you? Do you think she'll be okay with you bringing that home?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then we're going to find those 3 people to talk to. Now, can you think of a third way that might be able to help you stop feeling lonely at school?
I, 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 maybe try to uh, maybe I really don't know.
You really don't know?
No.
Okay, so this was my idea. Let's see if you like it. So I want to, because we only talk here and I don't get to see you in your classroom, I thought that maybe we could get you a journal, and so the times that you're really feeling lonely, you can write down why you're feeling lonely, what happened before that made you feel lonely, and what you're feeling in the moment. So how you feel right that minute while you're feeling lonely.
Okay.
And you think if we start writing those things down, we can track them and maybe realize maybe there's a reason, like maybe you always feel lonely right after lunchtime because you have no one to sit with. Or maybe you feel lonely right when you get to school in the morning. And so if we can pinpoint those exact times when you feel lonely, then we can work on fixing those areas specifically. How do you feel about that?
Sounds good.
Okay. Do you like to write in journals?
Yes.
Okay. Now this is a lot of stuff to do. Do you think you can remember to keep track of it all?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm very neat.
You're very neat. That is true. You're going to do great at that. So are there any other areas that you want to talk about? About your week, or we can talk about anything. We started to make our first steps of our plan, so that's good. And so now let me check the time. We have about 15 minutes left, right? Is there anything else that has been going on that you want to tell me about? And you remember all these things will stay just between me and you.
My brother can get pretty mean sometimes.
Mm-hmm. You're still having issues with your brother. Maybe that can be another goal of things that we're working on.
Yes.
So if we made a second goal of working on things with your brother. Now, have you ever, what things have you tried? So get along with brother. What things have you tried to get along with your brother?
For playing video games and he loses, then he just gets angry. Like he'll just throw the remote control or something, and then like I'll just get scared. So I'm thinking he's gonna like hurt me too, but no.
Has he ever hurt you before?
One time.
One time. What did he do?
I took something from his room, and after that, he found out it was me, and then he just pushed me into the floor.
He pushed you on the floor. Did you get hurt?
No. I didn't.
How did you feel when that happened?
I felt bad.
You felt bad. Did you tell anyone about it?
No.
No? You didn't tell your mom?
No.
Why didn't you tell your mom about it?
Because she knows that he has an angry side. So I didn't think that she would care.
You didn't think she would
that's
care?
How he is.
Okay. Do you think you would consider talking to your mom about it, the way that your brother makes you feel when he does these things? So would you want to do you think you would feel comfortable with it, or you want to practice having that conversation?
You can practice having that conversation.
You want to practice it? Okay. So let's say this just happened again. Your brother got mad at you and he pushed you to the ground. And your mom didn't hear because she was in another room. So I'll be your mom and you can be you, and we can think about some of the different ways that the conversation could go. So why don't we try, you want to start now?
Okay.
Okay, so what would you say?
Talking to my mom? Hey Mom, Phil just pushed me into the ground.
Well, why did he push you into the ground?
Because I took something from his room without asking.
Well, why did you take something from his room?
I needed a marker to borrow for my... I need a...
I think so.
I needed a marker, and so he needed that marker too. And then he realized the marker was missing, came to me, and I was like, I had it in my hand right when he was about to ask for it, and that's when he pushed me.
Did he hurt you when he pushed you?
It did hurt a little bit, but I don't have any marks or scars.
No marks. Well, why don't you go get Phil? I'm going to go you go to your room, and I'm going to have a talk with Phil, because you guys should not be putting your hands on each other under any circumstances.
Okay.
Okay. So that's one way the conversation could go, right?
Mm-hmm.
She could be on your side, and she can say, you know what, Lorraine, he shouldn't have pushed you, and I'm going to talk to him about it. But sometimes parents act in different ways, because our parents aren't perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's think about a different way your mom could react. What's a different way you think your mom would react?
I think that she would just feel stressed and be like, I don't have time to hear this right now, and just walk away.
Okay, so let's try that, and let's think about what would you do in that scenario. If she just felt like she was stressed and it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was a big deal to you, how would you make her know that it was a big deal? What's something that you could say?
I can say that it's not fair that he's picking on his little sister,
Mm-hmm.
and be like, that's just too much,
Mm-hmm.
because if I get picked on at school and then I'm getting picked on at home, then it's too much.
Mm-hmm. Those are really great things to say. And what if you said something like, Mom, I understand you're really busy, but my brother really hurt me and I need your help. And maybe that could get her attention, that even though she has a ton of things going on and she's doing all these different things to take care of you, she might be able to say, okay, maybe I should stop for 1 second and talk to Lorraine and see how we can fix this. So why don't we try that one? Okay. So you start.
Hi, Mom. Phil pushed me to the floor.
Lorraine, I'm just too busy. I can't handle this right now. You're going to have to go figure it out on your own.
But this is really important to me. What were the other things you said?
You want to talk about maybe how important it is to you, and even though you know she's busy, you really need her help, because it hurts your feelings when your brother picks on you. So ready? We're going to try again. Ready? Let's start over. You first.
Mom, Phil pushed me to the ground.
Lorraine, I'm really busy right now, and I can't handle this. You guys are kids, and you're going to fight sometimes, so I need to go finish the dishes.
But,
we can't.
Mom, this is really important to me. He really hurt me, and it's not fair to me.
Okay, well, what would you like me to do about it?
Talk to him.
Do you think me talking to him will help?
Yes, because he needs help.
And you don't care about the other billion things I have to do.
Well, this is important to me, and this is not fair that he's pushing me, and it's not fair that you don't care. You're picking favorites.
Okay, so let me give you one word of advice.
Okay.
So we don't want to necessarily, the best thing to do in an argument, not an argument, when you don't want it to be an argument, the best thing to do is say how we feel, but not tell the other person what they're doing wrong. Mm-hmm. So you can say, I feel like it's important, it's hurting me and it's important for me, and I feel like I really need your help. I feel like I need your attention so that you can make Phil stop pushing me. But don't say, you don't have time for me and you don't care about me, because then your mom's going to get more hurt. And she's going to feel like, well, I do care for you because I'm going to go wash the dishes so I can make you some dinner. And so it may look a little bit different from her eyes. So you always want to talk about how you feel, but you don't want to talk about you don't want to tell your mom, well, you're doing something wrong, because it's still your mom. You know what I mean? All right, so let's try that one more time.
Okay.
And focus on how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you go.
Mom pushed me. Phil pushed me into the ground.
Well, Lorraine, I'm really busy right now. I have to go do the dishes, so I can't be bothered with this.
But Mom, he pushed me to the ground, that really hurt me. I feel like you don't care and you're not listening, and this really hurt me.
Okay, so what would you like me to do about it?
I would really like for you to talk to him, because I feel like that will make me feel better.
Okay, Lorraine, go to your room, and I'm going to tell Phil to come out here, and I'm going to have a conversation with him.
Thank you.
How do you think that? You think that could work?
Yes.
And you see how, because you stayed calm and you talked about how you felt, then maybe that could help de-escalate the situation, and she can realize, well, maybe I should stop for a minute. And maybe it won't work out that ideally, but as long as you're doing all that you can, that's the best part.
Okay.
So we're going to say talking to your mom might be a good way to do this. So that's going to be the first step of our goals, is talk to mom. Now, you don't have to have this conversation after he hurts you again. You can go to your mom now and say, you know, Mom, I've been feeling this way for a little while, and I think that sometimes Phil scares me because he pushed me before, and he gets so angry at me, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You can go and tell her everything that you're feeling. Be like, I need your help, Mom. So you don't have to wait for your brother to hurt you again before you talk to her. I want to make sure you know that. You could go to her now. So that's going to be our first goal for getting along with your brother more. And then after that, you can go home and you can try that out and see if that works. And if that doesn't work, then we can make a second goal and kind of make a plan B and see if we can find another way for you to start getting along with your brother more. Does that sound good?
Yep.
All right, so do you remember everything that we talked about today?
Yes.
All right, so why don't you give me a recap? What are the things we're going to do when we go home today?
When I go home, well, first I need to go to the nurse's office so I can get all the stuff to make myself feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I smell good. And then after that, I'm going to talk to my mom about Phil.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And then do you want me to write down the other thing on the bottom of your paper so you don't forget about what we're going to work on at school tomorrow with making friends?
Yes, I'm going to talk to Sarah, Karen, and Bob.
You want to write it down?
Yes. To Sarah.
Thank you. So those seem like some good goals?
Yep.
And so next week when we come back, I want you to remember to bring your checklist with your stars and your journal with the different times you felt lonely and write about those.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to remember to tell me how it went when you talked with Sarah, Karen, and Bob, and tell me how it went when you talked with your mom. So those are 4 things. And you can even write them in your planner if you want so that you know you remember them.
Okay.
And then when we meet next week, we'll meet for 30 minutes again, and we'll see how last week went, and then we'll go from there. Does that sound good?
Yep.
All right, why don't you head back to class, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks.